This conference will now be recorded.
Eric and Adam, I just started recording the meeting, so go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Stacy. We'll give folks a few minutes here to jump over from the ICG meeting.
Okay, we have 20 people already.
So are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure. Good morning, group. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'm glad we can actually do this. I'm going to turn this over to Stacy and let her call the roll, and then she'll have a couple of administrative details to relay. Okay, Stacy, you're it.
Thank you. Eric Nelson.
Here.
Bassam Amin. Paul Agnello.
Here.
Rodney White.
Here.
Nick Miner. Kimberly Wilson. Alexander, I'm going to mess up your name, Oisak.
Oziak, I'm here.
Oziak, thank you. Byron Council. Jason Towery.
Here.
Mike Fincham. Craig Pennington. Charles Steigerwald. Sierra Williams.
Here.
Todd Horsley. Jamie Jackson. Craig Reed. Sonali. Ivan Rucker. Lee Anderson.
Stacy, I'm here and a couple of people are checking in via chat.
Okay, great. Kate Gibson. Linda Millsaps. Michelle Shropshire.
Here.
Stephen Hain.
Here.
Jim Ponticello.
I'm here.
And Dan Grinnell.
I'm here.
And just a couple directions then. If you would, before you speak, please say your name. Also, please mute your mics when you're not speaking. And finally, votes will be taken by saying all in favor. and then we will ask specifically for those who are abstaining or nay votes. I'll turn it back over to Eric.
Thank you, Stacy. Did you see that Jamie is here?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Eric, this is Craig Reed. I was trying to figure out how to unmute my mic when Stacy called roll, so I wanted to let you know I am here.
A presence larger than life. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. The next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda from anyone?
So, Eric, this is Paul from Spotsylvania. We would like to move up agenda item 7L to have it done in conjunction with 7C and 7D.
Okay, that's yeah. There's a logic there. Sure. Any other items? Any other changes? Okay, hearing none, we'll press on. Approval of the March 2nd TAC minutes. Adam, do you have anything you want to point out on those?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. You've received the minutes. Are there any errors or omissions? Okay, this is hearing none. This is an action item. So all those in, well, we need a motion to approve.
Alex Stafford, motion to approve.
Second?
Second from Paul Aniello.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, indicate by approval by indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Indicate by saying no. All right, the minutes are approved. Thank you. Public comment, we're not going to worry about today.
Well, Eric, I think we do still want to just open it up in case anybody's on the line from the public.
Oh, is that right? I'm sorry. My mistake. Next item is public comment. So if there's any public on the line who wishes to speak, this is your opportunity. All right. Hearing none, we will press on to item 7. Item 7A is the review of the interagency consultation group meeting and air quality conformity analysis. Dan or Jim, is there anything to do here?
Yeah, I just note, this is Jim. You know, for those that took part in the interagency consultation group meeting that ended just prior to the start of this meeting, the interagency consultation group did approve the conformity schedule and the project lists for the amended 2045 LRTP and FY 21 to 24 TIP. As part of the ICG meeting and included in the materials for this FAMPO TAC meeting is a copy of the actual draft conformity report that we plan to put out for public comment beginning May 20th. So hopefully you've all had a time to review that. If anyone has any questions or comments on it, just let us know. But there is an action required at this morning's meeting to approve this draft conformity report to be released for public review on May 20th.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? All right, we'll press on to 7B, which is approving the draft air quality conformity analysis so that Jim can proceed with his process. Entertain a motion. Is there a motion to approve? Anyone?
Alex from Stafford, motion to approve.
Thank you, Alex. Is there a second?
Second from Paul and Yellow.
Thank you, Paul. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the item? Hearing none, please cast your vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed indicate by saying no. Thank you very much. All right. Don't forget to mute when you're not when you're not mute when you're not speaking, please. Thank you. Somebody unmuted. Yeah, sounds like somebody's unmuted. Please mute if you can. Okay, item 7C, study methodology and schedule for review of FAMPO, RSTP, and CMAQ allocation process. We are in something of a tight situation with this, and so we've been talking back and forth to move this along. What we at Stafford's request, we want to re-examine our RSTP allocation process, and the Stafford folks have provided some good discussion points on this and some good draft procedures. These, of course, we need to discuss further, and we hope to do that certainly over the next several months, so that we can in fact have something in place by the end of this year, so that policy can take action and we can initiate and use these procedures, or we can actually use these procedures next year. At this point, however, we do need to allocate the CMAQ funding. The policy committee excluded CMAQ from that analysis, that re-examination of procedures, although it makes sense to examine them both at the same time, and we'll do that just to ensure we have a logical process and defensible procedures to present. But we do need to move along with the CMAQ applications, and we'll do that. We'll do that shortly. That's really, in a nutshell, where we are. It's a process that we have to figure out how to do in these funny circumstances. But again, Stafford has been very helpful with providing draft methodology, so we have a good basis to begin. But we do want to, again, we're talking about this among ourselves informally. We do want to get this in front of the larger group so that we in fact have a really good discussion on this. So hopefully we'll be able to have I'm just hoping that the whole meeting process will be more workable. Anyways, any questions related to that?
This is Jamie Jackson from Fred Transit. I know we're about to vote on this item, and I don't have any issue with proceeding with the vote. However, I do just want to make sure that it's noted that Fred does want to be actively a part of the process of reevaluating CMAQ and potential RSTP allocations in the future. Even though Fred is a department of the city of Fredericksburg, this does put us as a transit entity that's a regional provider in a pretty tough spot to be able to utilize a key source of funding that all other transit agencies throughout the state use for their projects. So as of right now, we are not in agreement with the process, but don't want to hold up this particular year because there is, I guess, a pressing need to move forward. But we definitely need to reevaluate Transit's role as a regional provider in this methodology, because unfortunately we were left out.
Thank you, Jamie. We welcome your participation. We hope to, again, we hope to make things better, and appreciate the perspective and experience that you can bring to this. So we will, again, the intent is to be.
I'm in the meeting. Oh,
Who? Okay. Anyways, thank you, Jamie, and we do hear you. All right. Moving along to item 7D, which is the review of the submitted applications for the FY26 CMAQ funds. We do have 3 projects. We have a project from each jurisdiction. Great, you've got the small print up here, but let me. So I'll review them. Well, that's not going to help.
All right.
I've got it, but again, it is small. Anyways, we have 3 projects. We in Spotsylvania County, we have the Route 208, Lafayette Boulevard, and Route 1 proposal. For Stafford County, we have an Onville Road project, and in the city of Fredericksburg, we have the Ottawa Boulevard to VCR Trail Connector, a bike ped project. These projects have been scored by the FAMPO staff. Alex and his folks have suggested some additional analysis for their project, and certainly that all looked good. And so the score for all of these are fairly high. And if we look at the, again, using the existing methodology, the Route 208 project scored the highest with 95 points. Onville Road was next with 87 points. And then the Ottawa Boulevard VCR connector came in at 75 points. So that's the ranking. And again, that's with a FAMPO staff analysis and then some supplemental analysis from the Stafford folks, which nobody is arguing with, certainly. Paul, did you want to talk about the 7L item related to the Route 208 project?
Sure. If the FAMPO staff could please bring that up, I can just briefly discuss that issue. So Spotsylvania has a Smart Scale Round 2 project that was selected for Route 208 and Hood Drive intersection improvements. That project basically is NPE moving towards right-of-way and construction. We had a meeting with VDOT last Wednesday, and they announced that the project has a deficit. We received the details on that last Thursday, so this is very fresh and new. But just to kind of explain what the deficit is. So the Smart Scale Round 2 approved cost was of $5.15 million, and the PE was $500,000. The right-of-way $2.25 million, and the construction $2.4 million. You'll see from this VDOT engineering estimate, the PE is still the same. The right-of-way has gone down, but the construction went up significantly, almost doubled. And because of that, the overall cost of the project is increased from the $5.15 million to approximately $6.3 million. Adam, do you have like the email that has kind of the VDOT explanation for the increase? Or that one. If you look at like the top paragraph there, the issue is that as VDOT did some PE for the project, they recognized that there was a hydraulics issue, and they had to basically do some work for basically a stormwater, and they couldn't do what they initially thought they could do. They had to basically move it to an existing basin at the Route 208 commuter lot, and that has a higher construction cost. So I'll say that this issue was unforeseen. I'll say that traditionally FAMPO has provided some additional funding when an issue like this happens in smart scale. I'll say basically, we're not looking for FAMPO to pay for the entire cost of the deficits. We're still in the process of working with VDOT to better understand this and determine basically when the funding would be needed. I'll say that in terms of the schedule for this project, FY26 is likely too late. So this project would need either previous funding or midterm funding. Not sure the exact year it could go out to, but I guess might be FY23. You can just keep the current project schedule. So we'll probably be coming back to FAMPO later this month with a request for additional CMAQ and/or RSP funding. I'll say that this project was rated for both programs, so it's eligible for both types of funding. So that's where we are right now. I would be happy to take any questions.
So the deficit at this point is what?
It's 1.15 million.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't have any questions. So the trick is to find the funding somewhere, and the time frame, we would have to find something before FY23. Is that it?
That's what we believe. I mean, we still need to talk about VDOT about the timing of the funding, but it's definitely something that can't wait until FY26. I said that this was a smart scale round 2 project, and the cost and everything was kind of scoped out back in, and I guess maybe 2016, 2017. If the project were to basically receive the funding much later so that the schedule got delayed, then the cost could go up even more because you have inflation. We don't want that to happen, and this is a important project for the county.
Right. And this is going into smart scale?
This is a project that was already selected as smart scale round 2.
Okay.
This is a past smart scale project that has a deficit because the construction costs went up.
Right. Okay.
Water basin issue.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna propose something later, like in a few weeks, as to how to proceed with this?
Yeah, I guess one question just for VDOT, in terms of just the FAMPO CMAQ RSTP schedule for the FY21 to 26 6-year plan. What is the deadline for FAMPO to make that decision?
That's a good question.
Hi, this is Susan Gardner. How are you?
Good.
21 through 25, y'all have already, the policy committee has already voted on. The New Year's what has not been voted on, that's the FY26. At this point in time, we're saying that we can put everything to the balance entry accounts and until we are able to get back together or have public meetings. And so at that point in time, that's what a lot of the localities are doing. And we're making that suggestion is that we just put the funding into a balance entry account and leave everything as it was approved last year. And we wait until everything opens back up and we're able to have meetings.
Do you have an idea when that might be?
No, but I can call the governor and see what he'll tell me.
I'm sure he'll take your call.
Waiting with a bated breath.
Okay. But we are headed that direction. Okay, that's good. what is the pleasure of the committee? Do we want to this is on our agenda for a decision, but it sounds like we also have time. We're looking at using these funds as leverage for smart scale. Paul has an item that he still wants to work through. Do we want to forego a decision at this point and put it into a balance until we can meet further, or is there a desire to?
So, Eric, this is Paul.
Yeah.
With regards to the smart scale schedule, I guess I would think that the deadline would be July for FAMPO action because it would have to be done for August.
Right.
So I guess I'll go again to VDOT to see if they concur with that.
As of now, no smart scale dates have been changed other than that 115-day for submission. That has not. But as for, is VDOT forcing any locality or any MPO to have public meetings and hold this? We're saying that you do not have to, that at this time, you can wait and not have the public meeting until at a later date. And so, it's up to every individual MPO and locality of how they want to handle it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the question I had, Susan, was basically just with regard to the CMAQ RSTP.
Would be up that the policy committee.
The locality wants, to use that as leverage for smart scale. Wouldn't the decision on that need to be made before the smart scale final application deadline?
Well, if you plan on putting it on your application, I guess that you'd have to have it approved by the policy committee. So that would be a decision the policy committee would have to make.
Right. So basically July would be the FAMPO deadline for that. So basically with any of the CMAQ RSTP that we want to allocate to new projects or existing projects that are going to smart scale, July is the deadline. So what I would say is we have to act by July.
We would have to act by June.
Yeah, it would be better to do it sooner and not leave it kind of at the last minute.
Right. Are we okay then pushing this until June just to give us more time to work things through?
This is Alex from Stafford. I would suggest pushing it out at least until June to give us some additional time, and then now provide Paul some time to get some more concrete numbers together for the spousal project, and we can kind of look at how we could possibly fund that, or possibly switch some funding on other projects and move that to the out year to pay for his project.
Yeah, that makes sense. Was that a motion, Alex?
Sure, that'll be a motion to delay voting at this time.
All right. Is there a second? Paul. Okay. Thank you, Paul. Okay. Well, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed indicate by saying no. Thank you. The ayes have it. This again, I think we're moving this fairly well, and we'll just take this extra time to make it logical all the way around. Okay. Item 7E is the FY21 UPWP, our favorite document. Okay, Adam, I'll turn this over to you.
Thanks, Eric. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Adam at FAMPO. This is the draft FY21 UPWP that we've been working on over the last 3.5 weeks with Cambridge. This is still a working draft, so the major item that is being worked out and being developed by the GWRC and FAMPO management team is the budget. So you will notice that the only budget numbers that we are able to put into this document to date is basically what we have received from VDOT and DRPT as far as what our total PL and 5303 budgets are going to look like. So we are working as a staff to determine what the possibilities are going to look like with RSTP money that is either FY20 and previous, and then what the CMAQ allocations are going to look like, assuming normal circumstances for next year with GWI Connect staffing and the leased parking spaces. So there's also the next agenda item that I'll cover more in detail then, but we're also looking at deprogramming some of our PL funds for a direct carryover from FY20 to FY21. So given the lighter staffing that we have had this year than anticipated, there is quite a substantial sum that we're looking to move over directly, which could help out our staffing scenario for next year. What I did want to ask for this committee is to review the content. So not so much the budget, since we're not quite there yet, but the content of this document, especially the planning activities. So that's section 4 of the document. And basically what that spells out is what our staff is going to do over FY21. And there's quite a bit of carryover activities from FY20, again, just based on the makeup of our staff this year. And so any comments we would be happy to incorporate as we continue to work on this draft and present it to the policy committee in a couple weeks. I will point out as well that we did receive a request from VDOT to have a working draft submitted by April 17th, and we were not quite comfortable at that point without this committee and the policy committee at least having a chance to review this initially. So we do want to honor that request and be able to submit a working draft inclusive of budget numbers after our policy committee meeting. So any comments, high level or specific line by line, we are more than happy to take in and as we continue to work on the draft. But I did want to see if there were any questions or comments at this point during the meeting.
Yeah, Adam, this is Paul from Spotsylvania. I have a question about the very last page, page 40, summary of financials.
Sure.
So with regards to the PL funding, how much is it estimated that the FY20 carryover is for PL?
Let me go ahead and pull up the document from the next agenda item. So in total, Paul, between federal and state, so this does not include the local match, 140,000 from FY20 to FY21.
How much is the local match?
I believe 14,000.
So it would be 154,000.
Right.
The other question with the 5303, how much FY20 carryover is there?
I don't have that direct number right now, Paul. I believe it is over $100,000, but I'm not sure of the exact figure.
With regard to those figures, will those be kind of added on to this maybe later this month?
Yes, that's something that should be added on within the next week or so.
Has the match for the earlier funding already been provided to you?
I'm not sure.
Hey, Adam, this is Jamie Jackson from Fred Transit. I do want to let you know I'd love to reach out to you, and I talked about this or had connected with some of the jurisdictions on this item too, to make sure that transit planning activities are included. I did not see much for FY20. I didn't look at 21 yet because I didn't have a copy of that document. But do want to make sure for this fiscal year, FY21 in the UPWP, that transit activities are included, whether it's separated out as a function of transit or as a division of the city of Fredericksburg. But I do think it's critically important that we make sure we include that in our activities, especially as it relates to 5303.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
And if you have a template that you want me to use, or I can just use the baseline from the document, just to make sure I get it into you in the format that you want, please let me know, just shoot that over, but I can get that to you probably within a week if that works for you.
That can work. I will send you a Word document so you can type it right into that document.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any other comments or questions about the FY21 UPWP draft?
So Adam, this is Paul again. When do you want comments from us on this document by?
Paul, we would ask, given that we will need to have this as a more complete draft for the policy committee on the 18th, so we would try and finalize our meeting packet by the 13th. If possible, we would ask for comments by close of business on Monday, the 11th.
So Adam, this is Michelle from VDOT.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, is the policy committee going to be voting on this on the 18th, I guess? Is that the...
Within our public participation plan, we are required to do a 30-day public comment period. So the plan right now is to ask them to direct us to start a public comment period on the draft on May 20th. And then they would be able to approve the FY21 UPWP in June. That's the current working schedule.
Okay, so when will you have the draft to VDOT, since we requested it a while ago?
The day after the policy committee is what we're planning on.
Okay, so then any of our comments would be during the public comment period as well.
They certainly could be. They could be sooner if there's anything pertinent based on the current working draft that you'd like to provide. But if you'd like to wait until there's a more complete copy inclusive of budget numbers, that's okay too. That it can be during the public comment period. Yes.
Okay, we just don't want to review and then review again if it's not quite complete, but we'll work with you on that. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Eric, did you have a question?
No, no, we're good to go. Okay, okay, good. All right, anything under 7F?
Yes. So for 7F, this is our FY20 UPWP amendment. And what we are required to do is ask for the TAC and the policy committee to approve the amendment. This also will require a 30-day public comment period. So we're looking to run that concurrently with the couple other public comment periods that we're looking to initiate on May 20th. And basically what this amendment looks like, the only change or update is to the PL funding, which also affects, of course, the totals. And so we've put a note on the last page, basically explaining what we are looking to do and what this amendment incorporates. So based on projections, we're looking at carrying over directly $140,000 to our FY21 PL funding. So what we have done as far as separating out the individual planning activity budgets is we've used the same proportions that were in the original UPWP. So we have not actually analyzed and broken down the funding by planning activity. We've just kept the same proportion that was in place originally. And that is the only thing that has been updated. So there's no other work content updates to the UPWP. It is simply down to a budget question. So be happy to take any questions around what we're looking to do with this amendment.
So for me, Adam, this is Paul. With regards just to the amount, the $140,870, does that include the local match?
That number does not include the local match.
That's my question is basically, shouldn't the local match be in that total? It should be the 100% of what the PL is.
So what we have discussed as a management team is that the move for the local match dollars would be something that we would handle internally and move those matching funds proportionally. So it would be the same amount as the state match that we're looking for in the request directly over to FY21. So the breakdown, and this is a little bit of a sort of rough estimate here, but the breakdown is effectively about $126,000 in federal, about $14,000 in state, and then there's also the $14,000 in local that we would move over to FY21. But the $14,000 local match does not require, that does not have to be part of the deprogramming request to VDOT from our understanding.
Shouldn't there be a note, though, that the total amount of PL funds that this will make available in FY21 is like the 154,000 figure and not 140?
I can add a note here on this last page that mentions that.
That's a good idea. Anybody else?
We do need a vote on this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We do need to vote on this. So if there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
This is Alex from Stafford. I motion to approve as amended.
Thank you, Alex. We have a second?
Paul, second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this? Adam, we'll make that, we'll add the note to this to cover the, to make clear the full amount. Okay, hearing no further comments, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed indicate by saying no. Thank you. We'll press on. Item 7G, public comment period for draft FY 21-24 TIP and the AQCA report. Stacy, you're up.
Yeah, hi. So we ran the public comment period for the TIP and AQCA simultaneously. It started on March 3rd and ended on March 16th. It included 11 outreach events at various public libraries in the region. We spoke with 167 people, and through this we gathered transportation priorities and 30 public comments. As well as on social media, we gathered 54 votes on the Hazel. We did not receive any comments on the AQCA. Polling at outreach events established that the public's top transportation priorities currently are to increase bike and pedestrian paths, to improve safety for pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers, to improve the FRED service, and to improve the rail service. We did identify one unique priority among Stafford Library patrons, and this was to create alternatives to I-95. So the question is, are the public's priorities reflected in the draft TIP? And we found that the TIP projects will contribute to fulfilling the public's priorities. However, the TIP does not prioritize FRED service or rail service. You should have received a copy of this document several weeks ago. Hopefully you've had time to review the 30 public comments. I won't go through each one today, but we would appreciate your feedback on this public comment report, and let us know, please, if this is helpful or if there's anything in the future that we could do to improve this kind of report, because I do plan on doing a similar one at this period in time for the next public comment period. I would note that if you're clicking on the link in the agenda packet to view this, for some reason the incorrect link was on there and it pulls up the entire TIP. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that, you will find the public comment report in one of the appendixes. Any comments at this time?
Really good job, Stacy. Really good.
Thank you. And I also would like to note a word of thanks to several of the TAC members who joined us at the library events. And we also had a couple CTAC members come out and speak with library patrons as well. So definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
So we are looking for approval of the TIP and the air quality analysis.
Okay, we have two votes to take. The first is the approval of resolution 20-34, which is the FY 21-24 TIP and the AQCA. I'll entertain a motion and then we can talk about that. Do I have a motion to approve?
This is Paul, motion to approve.
Thank you, Paul. We have a second?
This is Alex.
Second.
All right, a little role reversal here. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the resolution prior to a vote? Hearing none, I'll ask for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any who disapprove indicate by saying no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. The next item is approval of resolution 20-35, endorsing the AQ or air quality conformity determination for fiscal year 2021 through 2024 TIP. I'll entertain a motion.
This Paul motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Apparently everybody else's mics are not working. Thank you. We have a motion and a second on the table. Is there any further discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Again, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right. Next item is 7H, review of the approved March 2020 TIP amendments. Adam.
So just very quickly, just wanted to mention the approved TIP amendments from March. I believe that one, perhaps both of these were not processed in time for TAC review in March. So the policy committee did approve these. 2026 is for Route 1 upgrades between William and Caroline Street. And then there are also 2 amendments for the stations, the train stations in Stafford County, Brook and Leland Road with pedestrian and bike improvements. So both of those TIP amendments were approved in March, so we did want to mention that to this committee as a whole. And that is all for 7H.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Now, the next item is 7I, approval of resolution 20-33, amending the FY 18 to 21 TIP to add UPCs from the I-95 corridor study. Adam again.
So this is a TIP amendment request that we received from VDOT, I believe earlier in March, and this is from the I-95 corridor study. So these are, I believe, all statewide TIP amendments, and I will ask VDOT if there's any additional context or information that they'd want to provide before a vote is taken.
Anything from VDOT? Okay. I'm hearing nothing. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So Eric and Adam, this is Paul. I just had a question, like what are the projects? Can VDOT talk a little bit about what they are?
I'm sorry, this is Michelle. I was trying to get unmuted. These are just operational improvements from that study that were indicated to go first, like the cameras, the lane management, the different things like that on I-9, or not the lane management, but just some of the operational type things on I-95. And again, some of these are more regional and statewide, Paul. They were indicated in the corridor study when it was the last public meeting that we had, that they would be moved forward first. These are not the capital improvement projects. These are operational, like cameras, signing, other things like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Entertain a motion.
Paul motion to approve.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it again. Thank you very much. The next item is 7J, FY 2020 Rural Work Program update. Carrie.
Good morning, everybody. This is Carrie from FAMPO. Quick update on the 3 projects we've been working on for the FY20 Rural Work Program. First off, in your packet is the draft Bowling Green Small Area Plan. This project serves as the transportation element of the town of Bowling Green's comprehensive plan. And in that form, it was approved by their Planning Commission on March 9th. It was also the source of their Smart Scale application. The small area plan will go to GWRC board for approval at this month's meeting. So you can review that. And the next product, if you want to scroll down, Adam. Sorry, I'm being super quick. The next product is a draft transportation study for King George County. This analyzes recent studies and available data to make project prioritization recommendations. This document has been shared with King George for their review, and it will be presented to the GWRC board once the comments are received back and incorporated. And lastly, not in your packet yet, but we are currently working on the Rural Long-Range Transportation Plan for King George and Caroline County.
It wasn't that hard to find.
Oh, I couldn't find it. Okay.
Now I can't find the damn meeting. Can you please watch the meeting?
So that work is progressing well, and the target date for board approval is the end of the fiscal year. That's the update on those 3, and we'd be happy to take your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Any questions, comments for Carrie? My comment is very nicely done. It looks very good. Excellent product. All right, we'll press on then to item 7K, FY21 Rural Work Program update. Jordan.
Hi, this is Jordan Chandler from FAMPO, and I just wanted to go over the document that we created. So the draft of this document came from VDOT, and then we got input from King George, Caroline counties, Port Royal, and Bowling Green. And it has 2 main sections. It has the administration, which is reports and accounting, and basic regional coordination. And then it has program activities, which is broken down into 3 separate sections. The first section is VDOT functions. That includes things like VTrans, webinars, and fall transportation meeting. And then it goes down to the local and regional analysis and support. And that's just supporting local programming and maintaining the LRTP that Carrie mentioned. And then it goes down to various studies that were identified by each county. And so the first one for King George is to reinstate the Fred bus service. Then it goes to the King George Industrial Park, and they're looking to create a commuter rail train station. And then it goes to the commuter bike path along the Dahlgren Railroad Heritage Trail. And then for Caroline County, they're looking to create a Ladysmith bike ped plan, a Route 2 corridor study, Port Royal small area plan, which is similar to what Bowling Green had that Carrie just mentioned, and then also Port Royal canoe kayak launch at their town pier. And all the funding for this document remained the same from last year, so it's the same dollar amount.
That's a very impressive multimodal, that includes aquatic transportation as well. It looks good. Any questions for Jordan? Any comments? It does look good, really good.
Thank you.
All right. And item 7L we discussed earlier. So we're on to correspondence. Adam, we got anything?
Have just a couple things correspondence-wise. We did receive confirmation that the CTB did approve the FAMPO request to move from Category A to Category B for Smart Scale. So that was approved at their February 19th meeting.
Very cool. Thank you. Staff reports. Anything else from FAMPO?
Do have a couple staff reports. The first of which is a schedule that I alluded to earlier. So this is kind of a working copy that was last updated 29th of last month. And Basically, what we've attempted to do here is spell out what the required action items are based on our understanding for the rest of fiscal year 20. So we would ask for any comments or questions on this sort of proposed schedule, either now or after the meeting. We'd be happy to discuss those. But basically what this sort of gets to, again, is any required action by the policy committee by the end of the fiscal year based on our understanding as of today.
Right.
Yeah, Adam, this is Paul. I believe that there are some smart scale required actions, and with regards to just the regional economic development plan, that's one issue that would have to be kind of updated to kind of include all the smart scale projects, not only for FAMPO, but for GWRC. And then secondly, just the FAMPO approval of smart scale projects within the FAMPO region.
Yeah, Paul, we were wondering on the timeline there if that was something that would actually happen in June, or if it would happen before June. So is it your understanding that that would probably have to take place next month?
Well, the absolute deadline would be July, but I think in the past, a lot of times it's been good not to wait until the last minute. So June would be preferable.
Okay. We can make that adjustment to the schedule here.
And I guess with the CMAQ, you'll kind of slide that back to June?
Yes. Do we have any other questions or comments on the proposed schedule?
I mean, maybe with the CMAQ also include RSTP. There could be some allocations with that as well.
Okay.
Way to open a can of worms, Paul.
The next thing we have here is a press release that we distributed a couple weeks ago. This is related to a quick research project that some of our team members did related to COVID-19 and its impact on travel and congestion. So we did put a couple maps together to sort of spell out what the difference in VMT looks like based on the period of January 2020 to a week in late March, early April of this year. And it's a pretty substantial difference, as you might imagine. So feel free to take a look at that. We also do have our Q3 quarterly report for our UPWP for FY20. Again, this goes over progress on work activities and expenditures over the third quarter. So that is something that we have submitted, and you are welcome to review that as well. We did have one other quick update. Matthew Lahane is going to provide on Smart Scale.
Yeah, so just a quick update. Just want to let everyone know that all of the GWRC and FAMPO Smart Scale pre-applications are complete, and they were submitted last month by the deadline. And just a quick note of thanks to all the localities for their help with getting the applications submitted. That was a big push and a big help from them. So thank you.
Good job, Matthew.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Matt. All right. Okay, we're good. Let's move on to member reports. Again, anything from VDOT?
This is Stephen. I don't have anything, but I'll wait and see just in case Michelle or Susan might have anything.
No, nothing from Michelle.
I just have that as soon as we get notification from Governor/Secretary's office on moving forward with the 6-year plan, I'll be forwarding that out to everyone as fast as I can.
Oh, good. Cool. Okay. VDRPT on the line. Any updates?
No, nothing at the moment.
Okay. What about jurisdictions? Spotsylvania County?
This is Paul. I'll say that we're just continuing to work on our smart scale applications, and I do have a question for VDOT on the Transition Alternatives Program. Has there been any update on when the selections for that program will be available to the locality?
I'll see if I can get a hold of that list and send it out.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's it.
All right. Stafford County?
Sure. Kind of been working on tweaking our CMAQ RSTP selection process and have kind of written some new draft guidelines on that and have circulated to TAC members as well as Adam at FAMPO as well to kind of review and make comment as necessary. And also, I did have one other question for VDOT. Do you know when we might hear back on revenue sharing allocations?
I will see. I haven't seen that list. I'll see if I can get that list and forward that out too.
All right, thanks. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Alex. King George, have anything? Caroline County? VRE? PRTC? Oh, Craig, there you are. Okay. VRE, PRTC?
This is Christine from VRE, because I don't have anything. We're still operating service, carrying a very low number of people, but we are still waiting for those that make a trip on VRE, and we're starting to look at, what we would do once the schedule order is lifted and more people, sort of ongoing different changes to our procedures that we'll make going forward when hopefully people start moving around more.
Right. Thank you, Christine. Fredericksburg, you guys already asked my questions about the PAP and the revenue sharing. We're plugging along again. Appreciate the work that Stafford has done on the CMAQ RSTP discussion. So we're again plugging along with Smart Scale as well. Who have I left off? Anybody else out there who wants to weigh in? Not being able to see anybody is always useful. Okay, we'll assume everybody's weighed in that wants to. The next meeting is scheduled for June 1st at 9:30. If there's no further business before we are adjourned. Thank you very much. And thanks, Adam, for putting it together.
Thank you.